Special Public Lands and Buildings Committee meeting, 5 p.m., August 12th, 2024.
I'd like to call the Special Public Lands and Buildings Committee meeting to order at 5 p.m. on August 12th, 2024. The members present are Zion Hickman, Carolyn Shireman, Christopher Moritz, and myself, Sierra Sharp, Chair. Do we have any public participation?
For public lands.
Yeah, that was a given. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion for the approval of minutes from the July 11th, 2024 regular Public Lands Committee meeting. And we also need one for the regular meeting from July 25th, 2024.
I'll make a collective motion to approve the minutes from the July 11th, 2024 regular Public Lands and Buildings meeting, along with the July 25th, 2024 regular Public Lands and Buildings meeting.
Okay, we have a motion.
I think Vicki wants, somebody's making a mistake.
If I could just buzz over to my chair here. Just real quick. The public lands and build, I guess I'll need to come up front, oh, okay. Vicki DeShawn, 1108 Hillcrest Drive, council member. The two committee meetings that you're asking to approve, or the minutes for those meetings, there were no meetings because there was no quorum, so you have no minutes to approve.
That is true.
So
That's what we did.
We don't need to worry about the lack of quorum minutes? Okay.
I mean, Miranda can post them on Documents on Demand, but they're, so that anyone looking can see why there's no minutes, but there's no need to approve something that you don't have.
Well, there is, it says there's lack of quorum, we had no meeting. But okay, so
But you
perfect.
didn't have a meeting.
Okay.
You do it the way you want. We did ours the right way.
Excuse me, that's uncalled for, that's a point of order right there, please don't. Do not, that was,
Excuse me, Aaron, I apologize.
we're trying to keep these things civil and that's not. Okay, so selling of the North End Fire Station. Anybody have any information about that?
So this is Tommy Starr, our Service Safety Director. So we have to decide, you guys got to decide whether we're going to or we're not going to. If you want us to go out for bid, it's all it's in your guys' hands. We gave you guys the estimates a couple months ago or a month ago, whatever. They had the one for $250 and the $275.
Excuse me.
Yes, Ms. Sharman?
Didn't we approve them to go out and do
Yeah, I
that?
thought we had. When
I
they
think
came back
we
with the
approved you
estimates.
guys to do it unless somebody didn't write it down.
We've never approved to go out to bid.
So it just didn't make it any further here. Okay. So would anybody want to do anything about that? Well, while we're at it, there's the selling of the city-owned lots by Wendy's. Did anybody have anything that they wanted?
All that has to go to council, then. As a collective bargain, you guys got to approve it to go out for bid.
Mr. Fankhauser?
The proper process here would be the Public Lands and Building would have to approve putting it out for bid, and it's going to have to be advertised for so many weeks in the newspaper. And you could put a stipulation on it of a minimum price in your legislation, and then that legislation would go before full council at the next meeting and be voted on.
So we need legislation.
Yeah, there's legislation required to put something out to bid in the newspaper.
All right, so what we would need, if anybody was interested, and I would probably do this as a joint thing if we're trying to sell all this land, of having legislation written up. So we would need a motion for legislation to allow the administration to go out to bid, and whether or not we have a minimum amount that we would want to request to go with that.
I'd make a motion for that legislation.
Do we have a minimum amount that you would,
I don't know, do we have a minimum amount on the Wendy's property? The one beside Wendy's?
You set the minimum amount that you want.
But we do have something.
The wisest thing would do would be to look at the appraisals.
Right.
And come up with something close to that. You could, there's two appraisals, you could maybe meet in the middle. And then, that way you have at least that. If no bids come in, it doesn't sell.
so in other words, you could say that you wanted no less than 2/3 of the appraised value, or,
Exactly, yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
a fair, no less than 2/3 of the appraised value of each property.
Well, there's two appraisals.
he said of each property.
Two
There's-
appraisals each,
there'd
of
be
each one, on each one.
There's two appraisals.
For each
two
one?
properties.
Yeah.
So there's 4 appraisals total. And there's a high and low, yeah.
Well, still the closest one to 2/3 between the two appraisals of each one.
Mr. Starner, can I clarify with you? One property has 2 appraisals.
Yes.
The second property has 2 appraisals. There's your 4 appraisals.
So where's the third property?
Thank you.
Where's the third property?
Pardon?
There's 3 properties.
Then there's a, yeah.
But my main question was the first 2.
Okay, anyway. All right. Do you guys have an idea as to what you would want, Mr. Truca or Mr. Starner?
Yeah, that's your guys'.
I thought we were just going to ask 2/3.
At this point in time, Mr. Starner says that each property has 2 appraisals, and that those appraisals are separate and different. So 2/3 of which appraisal, ma'am?
2/3 of the one you just set up here and said either one of them, we would take it, go at 2/3. So which one are you meeting,
Okay.
ma'am?
If I ask you
Can we go
for
on, please?
$275,000 for
Can we
one,
go on? I'm not
and I
understanding.
also say that it's worth 250, which one are you taking 2/3 of?
Or
That is what,
whichever one you want.
and this is why this hasn't gotten any further out of this committee at this point in time. What do you think, Mr. Hickman?
I think we should do the minimum appraisal, unless we want to go higher. You do,
Do you want to ask for 2/3 of the higher one, 2/3 of the lower one, or the minimum of the lower appraisal, like? Because what they're saying is we need a figure.
try to, well, I'd say meet in the middle, but I'd say we'd probably be better off doing 2/3 of the higher appraisal to get more out of it.
What do you think, Mr. Moritz?
Same thing here.
Okay, so would you like to amend your motion to add that, or?
I'd like to amend my motion to add 2/3 of the highest bid for each property.
Okay. Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I will go with that as well. So we have that motion has passed. All right, we got a motion from Mr. Moritz, a second from Mr. Hickman. All right, so those two off the purchase of real property. Do we have information about the purchase of real property?
I mean,
You need to say everything, 'cause
yeah,
it
okay.
needs to be public, everything needs to be public on this now.
So we have the opportunity to buy the old YMCA or the skating rink at this time, for $105,000. What's that? So if you guys are willing or consider to purchase that, I mean, it has to have a legislation to go forward in order to do that. So.
Yes, Mr. Finkhauser.
There was also so the property was listed for sale for, I believe, like 150 or 160,000. It's directly adjacent to the existing fire station. It's the exact same parcel lot size as the existing fire station. And the administration, through another realtor, they come up with an agreement that if we were to buy it, it would be like 105,000 cash, and then also a letter of donation for another 100,000 to tax credit to the owner or to the seller. And it's kind of similar to, I don't know if you remember the Dodge Chrysler south of town there when Harold Teets, he donated it to the city and got a $400 and some thousand tax credit, I believe. So this is kind of like a hybrid of that, where we would be paying some cash and some donation, which really the donation doesn't really cost us anything. You know, and I mean, theoretically, if that person was to pay full taxes on the 100,000, the city would be 2.25% income loss. So, I mean, it's not, for us to give the donation, it helps the seller out, and it really doesn't cost us anything. And I think it would be wise to have the police, or not the police chief, the fire chief comment on this possible acquisition of the property, because it could be added on to for the station, and, you know, we're running out of room at Station House.
Well, and that's what, obviously, that's why I'm here for, in regards to selling the North End station. We do have some stuff stored there. We've got, we're very limited on our space, and for right now, the ability to build us a new station, we don't have any property to do that on, and with this being contingent to the fire station, it's one of the next best options I think that we have, so that we could add on at least even some parking for now, because even it's a hassle even parking in the morning during shift change.
So what would the city do with the property? We could tear it down, the existing YMCA building, and turn it into a parking lot. Fire department would benefit from that. We could tear it down and then later possibly add on to the fire station. The city would have options once it was to acquire the property that it doesn't currently have if we don't have the property. Maybe we could start searching out grants to add on to the station. I don't know, but it's one of them things where you can dream about it all you want, but unless you actually have the property, you can't do nothing. But, you know, maybe somebody in the community would step up and say, hey, I'm donating my estate someday to the city to add on to that fire station. You know, it would be something that might not happen for 10 years, 20 years down the road, but at least we would have the option.
Okay, so what do we need the committee to do at this point in time?
You would need to ask for the legislation for the administration to approve purchasing of the property, acquisition of the property. At the 105,000 cash with the 100,000 donation, tax write-off receipt.
Okay. So do you guys understand what the committee needs to do?
an acquisition.
We would need to make a motion.
I will make a motion for the administration to make an acquisition for the old YMCA building for $105,000 cash with a $100,000 tax write-off
For the seller.
for the seller.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
So we're asking for legislation to go into an agreement, correct?
Yes.
So we have a motion from Mr. Hickman, a second from Mr. Moritz. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I will go ahead and cast my vote as aye, so we have 3 votes, and that motion passes. Okay, so do we have any other public participation for public lands?
Randy Lady, 255 East Mansfield Street. Just want to say I'm interested in the fire station. I think I've sent emails, most of you guys interested in it. I guess just curious, want to know what keep me in touch what the procedure is to bid on it and stuff. My business partner is definitely interested in it. He's got cash to buy it right now, so.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Also, I want to live two doors down from the fire station, and to be honest, getting rid of the YMCA probably would be a benefit to that area. It's kind of a catch place for maybe the less desirables in the community, I'd say. Thank you.
Do we have any other public participation? Okay. Seeing none, I will end the public lands meeting or adjourn the public lands meeting at 5:17 PM.